Okay, awesome. So, hi everyone. I'm Akshita Suraj. I'm from the ecosystem development team, and today here with me are my colleagues Rohang and Ali joining the session as well. We're extremely excited to have you join the iPitch Ask Me Anything session. This is a unique series that we have started so that you get the chance to interact directly with coalition partners and get to know more about their investment thesis. As you're all aware, this year iPitch, of course, is bigger than ever with 11 coalition partners that have come together to identify startups through iPitch. And of course, we have a pot size of 5 million USD that you gain access to, and all shortlisted iPitch applicants get access to Artha Impact's network of over 1,200 impact investors and incubators across the globe. So this is basically one step towards ensuring that social entrepreneurs gain access to impact investors, and the gap between impact investors and entrepreneurs is bridged through platforms such as iPitch. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the partner that we have today, Shalini Chabra from 3i Partners, who is going to be basically talking about their investment thesis and the kind of startups that they are looking to support through iPitch. So before we start, the session is basically going to be a 30-minute session where 10 minutes is Shalini is basically just going to introduce herself, the startups that they're looking to support, and overall their investment thesis, followed by 20-minute session where you can either type in your questions into the chat box or maybe share it directly to Rohang here, or of course unmute yourself and directly ask Shalini. So over to you, Shalini.
Thank you so much, Akshita. Thank you, Ali. Thanks, Rohan, for being there. So I think I will try and minimize my speaking time. I'm just going to quickly run through a presentation which talks about 3i Partners and what we do, what we believe in. Just 1 second. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Shalini.
Super. So we've basically come together about 1.5 years ago in the midst of COVID. Actually, we started in June 2020. For all of us here at 3i Partners, this is a labor of love. We are all together here to support enterprises in meeting their journey. We are very, very committed to impact, and we are very clearly an impact-first organization. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm going to have to run through this manner. We believe that we would love to provide early stage venture capital. So we are not only going to provide monetary support, but we would love to bring to bear our experience and expertise as senior members in organizations and entrepreneurs in our own capacity to support your journey and help you take the difficult decisions. I mean, entrepreneurship's a very, very lonely journey. So we hope to help you through that. Our main focus areas are agriculture, education, climate resilience, healthcare. We believe that the delivery of these and through the interventions of technology can allow us to reach impact at scale. And that's really what we are looking for. We are looking for enterprises which will achieve impact at scale. And that's our primary driver. India faces multiple development challenges. I think I'm selling to the soul, so I'm just going to move on here. I think, so there is a huge amount of India. There is a space for government, and there are places where nobody can replace government. There are places where NGOs cannot be replaced, but there are other paths which are best addressed through for-profit enterprises, and that's the space that we operate in. We are primarily an early stage fund, seed to pre-series A. We help you with go-to-market partnerships, government partnerships, coaching, technology, improving your team, and so on and so forth. We really exist at that level, which is one step beyond the incubators and accelerators, and in between them and the primary area of operation of most impact funds, which start at a Series A. We are, as I mentioned, our sectors of focus: agriculture, education, healthcare, financial access, livelihood, skilling, resilience, and sustainability. We are a 5 million fund. We typically do 125 to 250K pre-seed, seed, Series A. Our preferred medium of instrument of investment is CCPS, but we're open to other options. This is a quick look at the primary or core team at 3i Partners. And I will stop speaking and stop sharing now, but I'm open to taking questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Shalini. All participants, you can either type in your questions directly in the chat box or write to Rohang separately. Or, of course, please unmute yourself. And yeah, Rohang, go ahead.
Yeah, Shalini will begin with a list of FAQs which we have and some questions which I got in the private chat. So the first question is, which are the sectors which 3i Partners, is focused on?
We are primarily focused on agriculture, livelihood, education, and health. We believe that these are the 4 core spaces of intervention that our country needs, and where at this point of time, we are poised in terms of using technology to deliver solutions which can have outsized impact. And that's the sectors we look at, and our core thesis that we're looking at really outsized impact within these 4 spaces. Delving a little bit deeper, we are happy to have and look at both direct intervention solutions and solutions which really change the face of how that sector functions. So let me take an example here. We're happy, for example, in health. So there are solutions which are focused around delivery of primary healthcare in villages, specifically smaller villages with a population of less than 10,000 and so on and so forth, where access to healthcare itself is a problem. And the usual local doctor is a quack. We love interventions within that space, but we are also happy to look at technology solutions which integrate delivery of primary health care through an ASHA worker, but using a, so to say, an IoT integrated device like a stethoscope to upload data and have it available to a doctor to diagnose whether there is a heart problem. So we would love to span both aspects because we believe that both are essential to, in our country where the number of doctors for the population is at ridiculously lower levels. I mean, as compared to the US where, we are 200 times smaller or more. I mean, depending on the space we look at.
Yeah, thanks, Shalini. So moving on to the next question, which is the preferred stage of enterprise that 3i Partners is looking at and the ticket size which you're looking at?
We are an early stage investor. We really like to come in, not in an idea stage. I think that's a stage where incubators and accelerators can play that journey better, but at very, very initial stage of revenue where you have pilot or early stage sales revenue. So the idea is proven, but maybe the MVP is still not clear, monetization model is not clear, go to markets are not clear, and we are happy to support you in discovering all of those. So really early stage revenue is good and is what we are looking at. And we are really looking at a seed to pre-series A. We'll sometimes participate in a series A, but seed to pre-series A is the sweet spot that we look at. We come in sometimes smaller, sometimes larger, but 100 to 150 K US is our sweet spot. So we're looking at let's say bottom end 50 lakhs, upper end 2 crores, usually around the 1 crore mark. We are happy to participate with other investors to close out a round.
Yeah, thanks, Shalini. Moving on to the next question. There's a question which asks, should the company be incorporated in India, or are you open to companies which are incorporated outside India as well?
We are very happy to invest in companies incorporated outside India as well, but it is a critical element and aspect for us that the primary area and focus of the enterprise should be solutions for India, for Bharat. So we have come across a couple of US-based enterprises. We're currently in discussions where 80% of the business is today India, and it is likely to be India, maybe not 80, maybe it will go to 60, but it will, for the life of the enterprise, they expect India to be the single most important market. And typically for non-India based enterprises, what we've seen is that they tend want to use and develop solutions in India and then use them in Africa as a second gateway. We are very happy to have that, but we would like India to be the primary focus of the enterprise.
Yeah, thanks, Shalini. Moving on to the next question. There's a question in the chat box which asks, is it mandatory to have a IoT-based device for delivering healthcare in remote areas, or only digital health solution can work?
It is not mandatory to have an IoT-based device. There are multiple types of interventions which are possible across the spectrum, right from purely physical models, but just using software to track a patient life cycle and using it to improve delivery of medicine, to creating pharmacy solutions for delivery of medication in a reasonable time frame within India to rural India. That's access is a problem. Diagnostic devices, just doing the same thing that any other lab in a city does, but where access of rural India is very, very poor. Or a huge innovation in terms of price point, where a test that costs like 5,000 rupees today, and therefore is inaccessible to many in our country, becomes available at a price point which is like 500 rupees, and therefore accessibility changes forever. So we are very open to all kinds of solutions. It need not be technology, use technology as its primary focus. It can be physical infrastructure. It can be innovation in terms of the go-to-market strategy. It can be an IoT device. It can be anything else. It has to really create impact and have the potential to create impact at scale.
Thanks, Shalini. I think Ali has a question from
Yes, thanks. Yes. Thanks, Ron. So, Shalini, I've received a question in my inbox. So the question is from Monte Technologies. They are creating solution in the hybrid sector, wind and solar, right? So the question is, how do you want to see the breakups of funds in the pitch deck? Normally, what we have witnessed is that the deals collapse based on the availability of funds we require from the investors.
I'm sorry, can I ask whoever typed in that question to speak up? I'm not clear on what you want to know. Just please unmute yourself and talk.
Monte Technology person has been not attending the session. He has given me a message on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he cannot.
Okay. I'm not very clear on what the question is. If it is a question around the funds that have already been invested into the company, we just want to know what has been invested and so far what's been your journey, both in terms of capital raise and the valuations at which you've got capital, the kind of terms on which you've got capital. If you are talking about deployment of funds, again, it's fairly straightforward. What are you going to use the money for? I'm unsure what more they would want. So I'm happy to, Ali, connect with them offline.
Definitely, I'll share their number to you.
Super.
Thanks, Shalini. Moving on to the next question. There's a question in the chat box which asks, apart from funding, how does 3i Partners support the portfolio companies?
Super, that's a fabulous question. I think more than anything else, all of us have had entrepreneurial experience in varying degrees, or have worked at senior levels in large organizations and carry a little bit of experience which we hope can help. And more than anything else, we hope that we can be your sounding boards, we can be your partners, and we can listen. We can give you sound, honest feedback. It makes the difficulty, the loneliness of the journey a little less lonely. But if you're asking in terms of, and I think people expect more concrete answers, but to us, I think as we've been through our own journeys, we've realized that having mentors with whom you can expect honest feedback is the most important thing that somebody can offer. But in more concrete terms, because some of them are looking for more concrete terms. In terms of more concrete terms, I think I personally carry a wealth of experience within banking services. I can help you with framing your financial fintech strategies. A lot of our other investors have deep technology experience, have built and sold their companies within the tech space, and are happy to really pull their hands up and help. We are happy to have you contract and advise, but also happy to, as you reach that next stage in your journey, help you really connect you and raise your next round of funding, because it's a long journey, right? It's not a journey which is a 6 month or a year's journey. It's a like 5, 7, 10, 15 year, 20 year journey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, madam. मैं एक क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता हूँ मैडम?
पूछिए ना.
मैं खुद की एंटरप्रेन्योर हूँ. लास्ट 10 ईयर से मैं एक खुद एंटरप्राइज चला रहा हूँ. मेरा ब्रांड बहुत पॉपुलर है. तो मैं अभी तो स्टार्टअप में एक नया प्रोडक्ट अभी iPitch वीडियो में डालना एप्लीकेशन करने जा रहा हूँ. तो उसमें जो वो टेम्पलेट में जो टेम्पलेट डेस्क है ना, उसमें जो कुछ पॉइंट भरने के लिए पूछा था. तो उसमें जो मार्केट के बारे में, जो मार्केट फाइनेंशियल प्रोजेक्शंस जो वगैरह वगैरह पूछा है, तो पहले वाला बिजनेस की रिकॉर्ड को फिल करना है या नया वाला प्रोजेक्शन को तो बिल्कुल नया है ना, स्टार्टअप करना है ना, तो उसके बारे में फिलअप करना है. ये कंफ्यूजन मुझको अभी है. तो क्या वो जो टेम्पलेट में जो iPitch की जो डेस्क में जो पॉइंट्स लिखा है, वो पॉइंट जरूरत है. तो मार्केट के बारे में पूछा है, कस्टमर के बारे में पूछा है, बेनिफिशियरी के बारे में बताया है, पूछा है. उसको पॉइंट को टेम्पलेट में टच करके भरना पड़ेगा. तो मेरे दिमाग में एक कंफ्यूजन है, जो मैं पहले वाला कारोबार की जो रिवेन्यू या मार्केट उसको भरना है, या नया वाला जो स्टार्टअप करने वाला जो आइटम है, प्रोडक्ट है, उसके बारे में भरना है, उस दोनों में कौन सा भरना है, ये कंफ्यूजन है मुझको।
Akshita, you want to take that, or you want me to answer that based on my best estimate?
Yeah, I mean, do you think my question is like, does it since it's the projection of the previous year? Sorry, Santosh, could you please mute yourself? So, do the projections for the earlier enterprise work better, or do you think the one that she's basically wanting to get funding for, that should make more sense?
तो अभी आप जो कंपनी के बारे में आपने नया जो बिजनेस शुरू किया है, जो जिसके बारे में आप बात कर रहे हैं, जहां पे आपने फंडिंग,
मैडम एक बार करवा तो पहले से 10 साल से कर रहा है, उसमें नया प्रोडक्ट, इनोवेशन प्रोडक्ट प्रोड्यूस करना है, स्टार्टअप करना है, तो टेम्पलेट में जो भरना है, तो पहले वाला वो बिजनेस है उसकी रिकॉर्ड को भरना है, या नया स्टार्टअप करने वाला प्रोडक्ट है ना, उसके बारे में भरना है, यही कंफ्यूजन है मुझको।
हाँ जी, तो आपको वहां पे नया वाला प्रोडक्ट के बारे में डिटेल्स डालने हैं, क्योंकि ये सब डिस्कशंस जो होते हैं ये आपके फ्यूचर के बारे में है। तो ये जो आपका नया प्रोडक्ट है, आपका फ्यूचर उसी पे बेस्ड है, तो आपको वहां पे सारे डिटेल्स नया प्रोडक्ट के डालने हैं। पर यदि कहीं पे जगह है, कि वो आपको आपका हिस्ट्री, आपका एक्सपीरियंस पूछते हैं, तो वहां पे पुराना डिटेल्स डाल दीजिए। पर जहां पे आप अपना बिजनेस के बारे में, एंटरप्राइज के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, आपका एंटरप्राइज का डिटेल्स दे रहे हैं, वहां पे आप नया प्रोडक्ट का ही डिटेल्स डालिए, नया प्रोडक्ट का
जो मार्केट रेवेन्यू पूछ रहा है, मार्जिन पूछ रहा है, तो वो तो नया प्रोडक्ट शुरू करने जा रहा है।
वो सब तो आपका एस्टिमेट है नया प्रोडक्ट के लिए, आपका एस्टिमेट है,
भरना पड़ेगा।
ये प्रोडक्ट है, ये प्रोडक्ट हम 100 रुपए में बेचेंगे, इस प्रोडक्ट का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट 50 रुपया है, हमारा ग्रॉस मार्जिन 50 रुपया रहेगा, ये हम पहले साल में 1 लाख यूनिट्स बेचेंगे, दूसरे साल में 5 लाख यूनिट्स बेचेंगे, ये हमारा टोटल रेवेन्यू रहेगा, ये हमारा वेरिएबल कॉस्ट रहेगा, उसके नीचे हमारा फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट ये रहेगा, यहाँ पे फैक्ट्री खड़ा करेंगे, हमारा मार्केटिंग एक्सपेंस रहेगा, हमारा एम्प्लॉइज रहेगा, वो सब आपको नया प्रोडक्ट लेके प्रोजेक्शंस बनाने हैं। और वो
थैंक यू वेरी मच। यही कंफ्यूजन था वो भरने के लिए, तो अभी तो रजिस्ट्रेशन करके हम एप्लीकेशन नहीं भेजा था, इसी कंफ्यूजन के लिए। थैंक यू मैडम।
नो प्रॉब्लम,
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
You're most welcome.
Thanks, Shalini. So there are a couple of questions in the chat. There's one question in the private chat where the person asks, our first revenue came in April 2021. So in the format of last 3 financial years, all 3 figures are 0. Is it a disadvantage in spite of generating revenue?
So it depends on who you're speaking with. For us, it's not a disadvantage. For 3i partners, I can personally say it's not a disadvantage. So long as you have productized and you have some initial revenue, we are fine with it. Usually, I would say that with seed and pre-series A investors, some revenue is fine. I think you go to incubators and accelerators or look for grants at product development stage. But seems like you've crossed that, so you have some initial revenue. As you move forward and you're looking at a series A or beyond, they would look at you having resolved your MVP, created some traction, and have a history of revenue generation. And those are a little further down the line for you. So it's just what's the stage of your company and what's a fit. Funds exist at various stages, and what you're looking for is a fund which is really interested in seed and pre-series A stages. Hi. Is this the same person who's chatted put in the
Chat
chat
box as
box
well.
that the company is incorporated in 4th June 2021 and haven't started revenue? Or is it a different question?
Rohang, I think that person had spoken about
Yeah, Shalini, sorry,
oh,
I just got dropped off because my internet just fluctuated.
Right.
Can you repeat your question, please?
I said that there's a person who's typed in the chat box that their company was incorporated for June 2021 and they haven't started revenue. So is it the same person or a different person? Because I just, what I said was that it's really a fit of the company and their stage and a fund. For us, early revenue is the perfect stage because we are we are seed to pre-series A fund, and we really look at the product being in existence and those issues having been resolved, but we are okay with absolutely initial signs of revenue and look to hope to help the enterprise reach their go-to-market and their MVP and so on and so forth. But we don't usually come in at idea stage.
Yeah, thanks, Shalini. So the person has responded and they've said that it's different. We have generated revenue, but in the current financial year. So the question was in context with the current financial year.
So that's great for us. And for most pre-series A and seed stage funds, you would be a fit. You would probably not be a fit yet for guys who look at starting at series A and beyond.
Yeah.
I just want to add one thing over here. So the idea is your applications will be looked at by all the 11 coalition partners, and based on their specific mandates, they will then go ahead and select the application. So don't be worried. Please apply to iPitch, and yeah, it shouldn't be an issue.
Absolutely. There is 11 funding partners here. We are only one of them.
Yeah, Shalini, thank you so much. I just wanted to confirm if the last question from Santosh was taken because I got the meeting.
Yeah, so I was looking at the question.
I'll repeat the question. Whether in this platform you're motivating social courses business model, or is it for general?
We're neither motivating social courses business model, nor is it general. We're just talking about what is our philosophy when we are looking at making investments, and we are really looking at social sector enterprises who are motivated by more than just the profit motive. Our primary areas of intervention in which we hope to support enterprises is based on what we believe is the need of the hour for India, which is really, we think it's really spans agri, health, livelihood, and education. We don't enter at idea stage. We look at some early revenues when we like to enter. That's really our thesis. The platform is much larger.
Thank you so much, Shalini.
Super. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shalini. Thank you for taking the time to do this. And again, a big thank you to all the participants that came in together for the session today to ask questions. And I hope this was helpful. Please do head over to the iPitch website to know more about iPitch. And yeah, look forward to seeing all your applications. And please do sign up for the upcoming sessions as well. Thank you so much, Shalini.
Lovely. Thanks, Akshita. Thanks, Rohang. Thanks, Ali.
Thank you, Shalini.
Bye-bye. And wish all of you all the very best.
Thank you.
Means a lot. Means a lot.
Shalini.
Bye.
Bye.